Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Wednesday, October 14th, and we are back. Me and Boomy at Boomy TCF. I am Zach Lilia at Z Lilia TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. And this morning we'll be talking about the White Sox have made some coaching changes. Manager Ricky Renteria has been fired, parting ways, and also Don Cooper, the pitching coach. NFL Week 5 recap. We'll be talking about the Lakers winning the NBA Finals, a little MLB playoff talk. We got the Bears have joined the Marquee. A little bit of, I think there's going to be a show and also replaying the games right after on there, so that's pretty cool. And then also LeVeon Bell has been released by the Jets. It has not been going well between the two for a little bit here. And then also Boomys Wacky Web Story. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Typical Chicago Fans. You'll find us on there. Go over to YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Typical Chicago Fans. All our morning shows, podcasts, food reviews, local legend interviews we put on there. Then wherever you get your podcast from, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. If it's Apple, subscribe, rate, and review. Give us that 5-star rating. If it's anywhere else, like I said, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Shout out to 26shirts.com. Chicago Boomy has got his on tonight. If you want a shirt just like that, go over to 26shirts.com. Chicago. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout, and you will get 15% off of your purchase. Again, that is Typical Chicago Fans at checkout, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase at 26shirts.com. Chicago. Follow them on all social medias. We love them over there. Boomy, how was your weekend? How was the little bit of a break? How you been?
Good long weekend, man. Obviously, as you can probably tell from my voice, the seasonal allergies living in the middle of a cornfield are getting the best of me.
Harvest
But
season, you go outside, you breathe in, and you got to.
Yeah.
It's awful.
I literally have it was a bean field this year. We had beans around the house the entire summer. So they got taken out last week and had a good long weekend. Congrats to Toast and Madison on the wedding we were at. So it was a good time, man. It was a good weekend. Got out and hit some golf balls and played 18 with my dad. So it was a solid weekend, man. I can't complain. How about you?
Good. Unfortunately, we maybe going away from golf here. It looks like it's going to get a little cold around where we live pretty soon. So it might have been our last weekend to get out on the links, which is sad because through all this quarantine and stuff, I've been golfing more than I think I've ever had in my life.
You definitely have.
Now that winter is coming around, I don't know what we're going to do. I know there's a simulator in town, so we might have to be doing that. But let's get right into the topics to this morning. White Sox coaching changes. Rick Renteria, unfortunately, out again with another Chicago baseball team right before they might hit their stride, really. The White Sox, who it was a tough playoff game, playoff little series, a 3-game series. The pitching kind of came into effect there. Definitely positive going forward. Boomy, who are you looking to fill that main spot?
Man, the name I keep hearing going around is Tony La Russa, and I'll be honest. I hate Tony La Russa, but at the end of the day, it might be the right hire. You want that experienced guy. Apparently, according to Ken Rosenthal, some of the veterans felt that Rick Renteria needed to hold the players more accountable. Just kind of a little lackadaisical. So maybe La Russa's the guy that's going to come in and be a no nonsense.
I don't know.
Kind of leader. I don't think that'd be a bad hire, but there's lots of good names out there.
Alex Cora would be a good hire.
Yeah. AJ Hinch, even. I know they got their pass, but if you want a guy who, especially if you're in the pipeline to compete for a World Series, you want to bring in a guy that's been there and has some experience and don't want to bring in maybe a fresh face, in the way the Cubs did. Not saying that what the Cubs did was wrong, but they're in two completely different situations right now. So I think La Russa might be one, but I think Cora would be a good choice too. I definitely think someone with that veteran leadership, someone that's been a coach before, is someone I would personally, if I were a White Sox fan, be on the rooting side for.
Yep. And they also got rid of Don Cooper, 15
Thank God.
years as pitching coach. So they're really making the changes there. I think
Don Cooper is the most overrated pitching coach in baseball.
Mm-hmm. Well, has he ever made the playoffs? Has he ever
I mean,
made the playoffs?
yeah, back in.
Well, I guess he would have been there in 05.
Yeah,
right?
And then
Was he there
the playoffs in
that year?
2010. Yeah, I think that might have been his first year. If not, he was there the year
to have
after.
a job for 15 years, and I don't know.
He's always been kind of like a dick to me anyway. He's never been. I don't know. And like I said, I can't even say that definitively because I don't follow the Sox as much. But just like anytime I've heard him talk, he just always seems old and grumpy.
So
it's like you're not entertaining.
The White Sox making some changes, I think, for the better. So they will be they'll be excited about that. I think that this will going forward is the right move. And unfortunately, Ricky Renteria in a tough spot again. But the White Sox going forward, great future the next few years. NFL Week 5 recap. The Bears played Thursday. They won. Very exciting. Big win.
They didn't lose either.
No, but the one team won this weekend. It wasn't the Bears, the Packers. So
that's
the
true.
Bears get to 4-1. I know, like I said on the show last week, it sounds stupid, but the difference between 3-2 and 4-1 just feels a lot different. And they played a good team and won. You say what you want. I think altogether that this Tampa Bay team is good, and they played like they should, and like they have been kind of. And I don't know. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna apologize to being 4-1. I'm not saying that they're maybe the worst 4-1 team that there is, but we're putting ourselves. Just keep winning. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Win 4 out of every 5 games. You'll be okay.
And also, Nick Foles making his presence kind of known on the sideline, telling Matt Nagy what he wants, is honestly something that, as a Bears fan, you don't really see that. I mean, you never saw that fire in Jay Cutler and stuff like that, who was probably the best quarterback we've had since. So I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for the next few weeks here at least.
Yeah, and a pretty workable schedule here in the near future. I know they got the
Carolina
Panthers
this weekend, and then I think the Rams.
But then they get the Rams on Monday night, but in Los Angeles, so that'll be tough. But Carolina's playing well. It's not the toughest schedule, but it's also not the easiest schedule going forward. But like you said though, you nailed it. They're in a good spot. You win games, you win. You just got to keep it rolling, and you got to keep building on that. So, I'm not going to sit here and I don't necessarily disagree with you, but I don't necessarily agree with you at the same time. I think Tampa's an average team, but there are players on that team that can be explosive. But it's not taking anything away from the Bears. The Bears have done what they've had to win 4 of their first 5 games, and they're in a good spot. They really are. I'm not trying to take anything away. So you just got to keep that momentum going. They're in a good spot right now.
Yep, but let's get into the rest of the games from Week 5, Boomy.
You got it, man. I got it right here. As of right now, the Bills are losing to the Titans 34 to
Tuesday night football. You gotta love it.
That should only count as like a half of a loss for the Bills because they're playing this game on Tuesday because the Titans couldn't stop going out in public when they knew that their team had COVID. I'd be pissed if I was the Bills, but that's just me. Let's take it all the way back to Sunday. The Falcons get Dan Quinn fired. They lose to the Panthers 23-16, who seem like they're doing pretty well under Matt Rule.
Before the game, right?
No, he was fired after the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him and the GM. The Ravens crush Joe Burrow 27-3, and the Bengals. Texans 30-14, a nice little bounce.
Not the best games this weekend. Not the best games.
No, really not. Kind of some bad teams playing bad teams. Mm-hmm. The Kansas City Chiefs get their first loss of the season.
That's crazy right there.
Raiders.
The Raiders go into Kansas City.
Yeah, played very well too, both offensively and defensively.
That Chiefs defense, though, you can't. I mean, at some point, if you can't get a stop, it's really going to hurt you. You can score all the
It's a
points you
bend.
want, but if you can't get a
You
stop.
give up 40 to anybody, you're not going to win. I mean, it's a bend don't break defense right now, and it broke on Sunday. The Cardinals just keep piling it on to Adam Gase and the Jets. They win 30-10. I still don't know how Adam Gase has a job. They stink. They might not win a game this year, but we'll see. In the battle for Pennsylvania, the Steelers beat out the Eagles 38-29. Glad I had the under in that game. The Steelers damn near covered it by themselves. And it's wild that the Eagles are still in first place at 1-3-1. That division is horrible. The Rams with a convincing win over the Washington football team, 30-10. The Dolphins giving it to the 49ers. I don't know how good the 49ers are. I really don't. They're missing a lot, obviously, but I just don't know if Jimmy G is the guy. The Browns take down the Colts as they keep surging. I believe they're 4-1. I believe first time in a long time the Browns have been 4-1. And then the Cowboys, obviously the gruesome, gross injury to Dak Prescott. That was nasty.
I mean, that was
the wrong way.
That was one of the toughest ones to see.
Yeah, and they just kept the camera there. I'm like, come on. But they edge out the Giants.
Tony Romo saying, hopefully it's just a cramp, was insane.
Yeah, dude, like, you see his foot is facing to the east. Like, what are you talking about? And then the Seahawks come from behind late and beat the Vikings 27-26. Monday night, last night, we had the Saints coming back big in overtime to beat the Chargers 30-27.
But Justin Herbert is a good quarterback, I think. I think he is
best rookie quarterback.
Yep. So I think I don't know. I think Joe Burrow is pretty good too.
We'll see.
He's got a tough offensive line there, bud.
No, Los Angeles isn't a ton better.
I think they're better than that, though. I mean, that team overall just has more weapons per se. Keenan Allen out there and stuff, and they said even some of their better players getting injured last night too. He still went out there and won, so I think going forward that's going to be a good fit there. Yeah,
I think they're both in a good spot. Both teams, if both of them can improve, different, kind of secondary positions. I don't want to make it sound unimportant, like offensive line and stuff. Could have something special going.
Love it. But like you were saying, Boomy, about the Jets. Jets released LeVeon Bell. It wasn't really surprising after, I think he tweeted out today or yesterday about not being very happy. He was not happy with the amount of carries he got, I think, on Sunday. The team stinks. Can't really blame the guy. They released him today. But really and truthfully, do you think the Bears make a move?
No, I don't think they would. They might take a flyer depending on how much.
What's going to hurt? What's it going to hurt?
Right, especially with losing Tariq Cohen for the year. I mean, that hurts. I mean, you have to obviously go in a lot deeper than us just talking about.
Yeah, I don't know how the money works and how the contracts are going, but
if the money can work, I mean, it's because
I like David Montgomery, but it's just not like he's not.
Right. That's exactly it.
He's the guy who'll get you the yards that you need. And okay, speaking of that, it's like when Matt Nagy goes, what's the point though? Because Matt Nagy would never use him anyways because he doesn't know how to use running backs.
Right.
Mike Davis, I think he's in Carolina. Where is he right now? And he's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
Like what? It's like Matt Nagy does like the first possession or two, throws in a few running plays, and then just forgets about it because I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
at 4-1,
I don't get it.
For being 4-1, I'm in a weird spot with the coach.
Yeah, for
sure.
I mean? You should feel with a 4-1 team. You should feel a lot more confident in the guy that's running the show.
I do feel confident in, like you said, with Nick Foles kind of making that move, kind of getting a little bit into. It was an argument per se, it was kind of one-sided with Nick Foles.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a veteran, so you know what I mean.
It looked like you said it, like a veteran QB talking to his coach on what he saw.
I like it a lot. But let's move on. We got Major League Baseball. We have got, what is it? The Braves are up. The Braves up 2-0 on the Dodgers in the series. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I do not like the Dodgers. I know Boomy isn't. Your guy Clayton Kershaw couldn't even pitch today. Back spasms.
Back spasms. Yeah, they. I mean, the game's not over. It's 7-3 in the top of the ninth, but the Braves are hot.
I thought
man.
it was over. My bad.
No, you're good. It will be by the time we're done recording this, I think.
And then we have the Rays and the Astros, which is, how's that going, Boomy?
It is in the bottom of the third right now. The Astros are up 1-0, but the Rays are up 2-0 in the series. So
love it. Like
we might get the World Series we were hopeful for.
2 sweeps of 2 teams I do not like.
Hey, I don't even care if they're sweeps. Just give me the fun, Dodgers.
A Rays, Braves World Series. That'd be fun.
Yeah, 2 very good teams, especially 2 teams that are playing maybe
that Braves team
baseball.
They're good.
That Rays team doesn't quit. That Braves team smashes the ball. They pitch well. It's going to be a fun World Series.
Boomy, what's your thoughts on it's weird seeing fans in the stands? I know even like in football, there's at least been some places that have, some places that haven't, but in baseball there was none. I don't think.
Nothing. So nobody was allowed
until right now. So it's a little bit different to see. I still think it's the cutouts. Yeah,
I agree. They did a good enough job with the cutouts that it kind of
I just don't even think about it anymore. It's like, oh no, that's not fans. And you're like, oh my gosh, they're moving.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know, man. I kind of like that there weren't fans there. It really just made you play. You felt like the better team won most.
I just
series.
think it's kind of weird to switch it up now, but
for sure.
What are you gonna do? They need to make some money, I guess.
Oh, definitely.
Get
and you could charge. You could charge a kidney to get into that game, and people would pay.
That's why they went to Texas, though, right? Because they allowed
Texas.
it.
Yeah. That's like when I was watching the Florida game the other day. I couldn't believe they said limited crowds at the Texas A&M game. I'm like, that ain't no limited crowd, dude. There are people everywhere.
Oh, I bet you at Florida too, at the Swamp. There's places
they're
going to be packed too.
That's
crazy.
It is wild.
It's kind of weird though, just to watch a game and see fans and it's just like, whoa.
We've been mentally trained for the last 3 months to not see anybody there.
And then for the first 24 years of my life though, I was like, all you saw was fans.
It's crazy how 3 months can change your perspective on things.
Yep. But the Lakers win the NBA Finals. Boomy, your guy LeBron gets an NBA, his 4th NBA championship.
Yep.
I mean, I'm kind of with him on the whole debate thing. Let's just watch basketball. He's only got a few years left. It's not even a conversation that will ever have a true ending, a true correct answer in a way.
Right.
So what's the point?
Yeah, dude, and that's exactly. I mean, me and you have talked about this a million times. This is how I became a LeBron fan. Was at and I saw someone else tweet about this. The day of Kobe's last game was the first time I ever enjoyed watching Kobe Bryant play basketball. And I literally sat there. I was like, why have I been hating this guy for 15 years? Just because, he might not have been the most marketable player as far as personality or whatever the case was. I think a lot of it had to do when he almost got traded to the Bulls and then that got ripped out from under me. But I literally looked at LeBron
too. It's just not your team, all the success, stuff like that. And sometimes that's the role that the greatest players have to take on, is the villain sometimes.
Well, think about how many people hate Michael Jordan. How many Detroit Pistons fans just hate him for what he did to them in the 90s.
If you're going to be the best, you're going to make enemies throughout the way.
Oh, for sure. You think everybody and their brother loved Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? No.
But it does.
It
ends a weird season in the NBA that started off as a regular season that went to the bubble and then did the playoffs in the bubble. And
man, I'm not going to lie. I would not be upset if they want to do the bubble for one more season. Everybody, just get a bunch of courts out there like an AAU tournament and just play all day.
The Bulls will be exciting this year. Billy Donovan. I saw
Billy D just fired 4 assistant coaches on Monday,
which is kind of not very surprising though. It's what did you think was going to happen?
Usually you don't do all 4 at the same time.
I'm guessing he maybe didn't. I'm guessing it was over a span because he's been coached for how long? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But who knows? What do I know? But
Right.
Bulls, I got my sweatshirt on, Bulls sweatshirt. I'm excited for that. I wonder, when do you think that'll start back up, Boomy? January?
That's what I'm thinking. Honestly, like if they were smart, they get the draft in, and then they say we're tipping off Christmas Day.
Because I saw
Like,
some stuff like it is weird. Like this time of year is when you kind of start getting back into basketball and stuff
literally,
like
like preseason games. I thought I saw in my memories that me and you went to that preseason game like a year ago.
So we'll kind of see how it's weird how there's not even a timeline for that yet. So we'll kind of have to.
Or
wait
you
and
do
see.
it like you like do it on whatever it is. Like, is it President's Day in January?
Mm-hmm.
You do it on that day where like all the schools are off, so that all the kids can watch opening day.
So we'll see how that goes, and see when we get the NBA back. But the Bears join the Marquee Network. I think it's kind of cool. They're going to have, I think, a weekly Bears like kind of talk show on there, and then they will be re-airing the games right after on the Marquee Network. I think it's kind of, I think they're going to try and take over NBC Sports Chicago and make that the main hub for like other than I guess White Sox fans or whatever. So hopefully some sports, because like I said, they have a show with like Ryan Dempster on there. I think the stadium I think it's through the stadium, so they got stuff on there. I think that it's a really cool. I think it's really cool because I have Marquee and I'll be definitely watching the weekly show. I think I like when local channels kind of do that.
Oh, for sure. I think this is a great way for the Marquee to, possibly make some more money
and fill some time in without when baseball is not going on.
Yep, 100%. Like, it's great to go back and watch those 2016 playoff games, but like at the same time, like you can only watch those, so many times. You got to get, talking about a TV network. So I think they're doing it right, and this is good. They're never going to get live games on the Marquee Network. Don't worry, the NFL will never let that happen. But this is a good way.
That's impossible for any.
No,
that's that because I was talking with somebody today. It's like, how fun would that be if you could have home announcers for an NFL game?
Like, do you know how much money the NFL would?
But you know what I mean, though. It's just how fun it is to watch Len and listen to Len and JD during the games and stuff like that. It's just like I wish we could have that on TV with the Bears, but. I do like listening to is it Joniak and Thayers, right? Yeah, Tom Thayers.
That sounds right.
Boomy, do you have a wacky web story for us?
Yeah, dude. So, like, think about what me and you did over quarantine. Obviously, you still had to go to work, but we weren't going out to the bars or hanging out with people. We played a lot of video games or just a bunch of random stuff around our houses or whatever the case was. But we never thought of doing what this man in Minnesota did, who is a horticulture teacher. For those of you that don't know, horticulture is like plants and vegetables and fruits and stuff like that.
Just going to ask.
I got you. I wasn't going to call you out, but thank you for volunteering the information. Travis Ganger from Anoka, Minnesota, spent all of his free time in quarantine in his pumpkin patch in his backyard, watering his plants up to 10 times a day, feeding and fertilizing them at least twice a day. And what does he have to show for it? Well, he has a record-setting 2,350-pound pumpkin.
I was kind of actually hoping you would say, like, no pumpkins.
The deer broke into his backyard and ate all his pumpkins. No, almost a 2,500-pound pumpkin. So he's like pulling off records. He drove it 35 hours to the World Championship Pumpkin Weigh-Off in San Francisco. 2,350 pounds. So maybe next time if we ever get quarantined, we'll have to grow big pumpkins.
I think I'm going to leave that to him.
Yeah, he's probably better at it than us. That's for sure.
That sounds like a lot of work.
I would like task myself to do that. I would water it 10 times the first day, and then I would forget for the next 4 days, and then I would have dead pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll just stick to video games and doing podcasts.
Yeah, we'll stick to that. Boomy, anything post-show?
Not that I can think of, man. How does the NFL go about this? I still don't feel like they're handling the COVID stuff the way they should.
I think they're just kind of putting their heads down and keeping it moving. They're just trying to. They're just trying to schedule when they can, and they just want to get every game in.
If I'm the Bills, I'm pissed about this because I think the Bills are a better
team. There's nothing you can do. I mean, if you really think about it, there's nothing they can do. The NFL has total control over when these games are. The discipline of with Tennessee with the positive test, they've done nothing to other than fining coaches for not wearing masks on the sideline.
Tennessee should be having to forfeit this game.
See, the NFL stupid. That's the NFL would not want that because then they lose the money from the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's hurting. That's hurting themselves.
Yeah, it
kind of sucks in a way because there's nothing you can do about it. Was it the Patriots game? There's no Thursday night game, which has been rescheduled. It's all very confusing. There's no Thursday night game
this week.
No, I think there's no Thursday night game this week.
Let me check. You're right. There is no Thursday night game this week. There's 2 Monday night games now.
Yeah. So they had to move all it back so they could, I think, get positive test or a negative test at some point or whatever.
And as of now, there are only, and I'm sure something's going to get moved, but as of right now, there are only 2 3:00 games.
Which is, just come on, switch some games back.
There are so many noon games.
That's annoying.
Super annoying.
But thank you for joining me and Boomy at Boomy TCF, Zach Leah at Z Leah TCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. You'll find us on there. Go over to the Typical Chicago Fans YouTube page and subscribe. Please follow our morning shows, podcast, local legend interviews. That all goes on there. And then wherever you get your podcast from. If it's Apple, please subscribe, rate, and review. If it's anywhere else, just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. And shout out to 26shirts.com Chicago. Boomy has his shirt on tonight. If you want a shirt like that, go over to 26shirts.com Chicago. And at checkout, use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. Anything else, Boomy?
Hey, let's have a Wednesday, baby.
Let's have a Wednesday. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Wednesday, October 14th. We love you all.
Peace.